Good morning, everybody. You can see this is the very last day of April, and it's also the first day of our ABC countdown. You guys have a bag of things that we'll use. Today's A, eat an apple and talk about fall. So thankfully we have apples year round because they're yummy, but usually we think about apples really being ripe in the fall. And so we'll be talking about what's your favorite thing that you are thinking of that you're going to want to do when we get back to school in the fall. Fingers crossed. So if we look at our marker today, you can see it's on the 30th. And if I go up here, there's the TH. I get to stick my tongue out. Thursday. Thursday, April 30th, 2020. So go ahead and say that with me. Today is Thursday, April 30th, 2020. If we write that as numbers, it's April, 4 for April, 30 for the day, and 20 for the year. And today is the 155th day of school. So 100 plus 50 plus 5. Here's our schedule. We've got reading, recess, art. We're going to finish our Monet art project. Hopefully math, lunch, science, and if you're one of my 5th graders, you get to do writing with me later. And I think today I'm going to let the butterflies go during science. I think after a week in their little butterfly habitat inside, they really need to get out. I will miss them, but if you're going to be with us again next year, we'll do it again next year. And of course, you can always just order your own on Amazon, believe it or not. Okay, so we're going to continue talking about life cycles. This is our nonfiction book about frogs. We'll go through it and we'll talk about life cycles at the end. Like a lot of nonfiction books, there's our table of contents. Okay, which tells me the chapters and what they're about. So, here we go. Frogs live all over the world, except Antarctica. Frogs like wet places, rivers, lakes, ponds, but some frogs live in trees. Some even live in the desert. Frogs can be found all over the world, and where they live, that's their habitat. So we've got the bullfrog, the red-eyed tree frog. You see him a lot when people are talking about the rainforest. Andean marsupial frog. Well, if it's the Andean marsupial frog, it's the Andes. That's South America. And then here we have a marsh frog. All different kinds. Okay, where are we? Frog food. There we go. Look at that one. It's eating a dragonfly. A frog's favorite food is usually insects. They eat dragonflies and crickets and other bugs. Some frogs eat bigger animals like worms and mice, and the American bullfrog even eats other frogs. Oh. So there's the Amazon horned frog. He's eating a mouse. If he's an Amazon horned frog, that's obviously after the Amazon in South America. And here's our lovely American bullfrog, apparently eating a cousin. So, all right. How a frog catches the bugs is it has this long sticky tongue. Ooh, look at that. It can shoot out 6 inches to catch a bug. If your tongue were as long as a frog's, your tongue would reach to your belly button. Frogs come in every size and color, and the smallest frog is just as big as your fingernail. Isn't he cute? He's called a micro frog. Micro means tiny. Oh my goodness. And then there's the big one, the Goliath frog. And you can see he's on a scale that shows 6 pounds. That is a gigantic frog. Holy cow. He's as big as a rabbit. So frogs are many different colors. We think of them a lot of the time as green, right? But they're striped, they're red, they're blue. I'm going to guess that these guys maybe are poisonous based on their colors because they sure don't look like they're hiding. That's the blue poison dart frog and the red poison dart frog. So there you go. And this is an Amazonian poison dart frog. And then this is just the tiger striped tree frog, or leaf frogs, pardon me. Colorful frogs may look pretty, but watch out. These frogs have poison in their skin. So here's the poison dart frog again. The yellow-banded poison dart frog. Actually looks kind of scary. And this is just another poison dart frog. So he's hanging out there, but don't touch them. This little frog is only an inch long, and its name is Terribilis, which means the terrible one. By being the most deadly frog of all. Whoa. One Terribilis has enough poison to kill 20,000 mice. Look at that little guy. He literally is 1 inch long, so like that. But he's poisonous and he's bright yellow, so we're going to stay away from him. And here we're going to start talking about the life cycle of the frog. So these are the frog babies. Frog mommies lay eggs, like most amphibians, right? So they lay eggs, and you can see the little babies are developing inside the eggs. When the eggs are ready, out come the tadpoles. It's not a frog yet. Tadpoles are baby frogs, but they don't look like frogs yet. They have tails. You can see they don't even have front legs to start with, or back legs for that matter. They just have a little tail. So it looks like that. There's your tadpole. Eventually it'll grow back legs first, and then its front legs will come out, and then its back legs, and then its tail will disappear. So, because they live in the water, tadpoles actually have gills like fish. And that's what they look like. There's your tadpole without any legs of any kind. Eventually they grow their back legs and their front legs, and they can hop around, although this one still has its tail, and then eventually its tail disappears and it can spend time on land. But once it's out here like this, once it grows its back legs, it actually grows lungs and it can breathe air. In about 3 months, that whole thing takes place. Now toads, they're not cousins. Toads are actually a kind of frog. So it's a frog that mostly lives on land, which is why we call it a toad. But a frog is a toad. And that is all for frogs. And of course we have our glossary here with the words, the specific science words for this book. So there we go. Frogs have a life cycle, right? They go from egg to tadpole to grown up, just like we go, right? From baby to young person to grown up, right? And our oak tree and our chick, and of course our butterflies and our insects. All right, I will see everybody later, hopefully for reading and math and science. And hopefully when I see you, you can tell me what you want to do in the fall. Bye.